daily where we're looking at Leenock versus Parting. Just got done with kind of a cool, slick, sexy, saucy little game that ended kind of quickly. Well, actually, it was like 27 minutes long. It was a pretty long game, but ended quicker than we would have liked. So what I want to do is I want to come to a second game that Parting and Leenock played that both shows the brilliance of Leenock's early and mid-game transitioning. Kind of similar to what we were looking at before, but because we can watch this thing at a more rapid pace, we're going to have the opportunity to see this big danger time that happens when we transition to Infestor Broodlord from aggressive mid-game. So let me go ahead and pop into this. There we go. I am increasingly of the opinion that if we're opening up, or if we go mutiling in mid-game, we should focus on Ling upgrades and transition to Ultralisks, not to the Broodlords. Kind of go for the Ling Infestor and then Ultra. I mean, I don't have a lot of data on it because I don't quite have the time to become as good as Leenock in the early and mid game and then be against really good Protosses. I'll probably have to go talk to Sheth and be like, can you just try this, dude? Please listen to me. But, you know, as we were looking at the last game, actually, screw it, we're not going to talk about last game. As we look at this game, we're going to see this Mutiling come out really strong. Let's focus mainly on Leenock's point of view. Actually, hell, let's just focus on Parting for a brief period and note that what he's going to be doing, as we turn the sound on, is going for this pretty dang fast warp gate research, but not really fast. And he's going to be going 5 gate. He's going to do a push with zealots and sentries down here. Leenock is doing his very interesting fast Zergling speed, fast layer getting started at like 7 minutes. The Roach Warren happening at a pretty typical time. And all this craziness going on. So right now what we're doing is we're setting the tone of this early game stage where, keep in mind, our #1 goal as Zerg is to make sure we don't die to one of the big 3. Either 1, an early gateway push, 2, an early Stargate push, or 3, he does neither of those, and we just struggle against a 3-basing player. Leenock does this stuff that is so effective and so frickin' annoying. Like, this works in a miraculously high percentage of the time. So great, Leenock held it all off. He's able to instantly start his Glil Reconstitution, his Roach speed, and Parting, yet again, gears up to take a third. If I am in the shoes of Leenock, I want to check to see if there's a third. I messed up because I'm awful. Come on, Leenock. Come on. Oh, dude. Guy. Oh my god, that's so horrible. Come on, come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. I feel like I'm trying to bait a parakeet at a pet store into paying attention to me. Come on, here, birdie. And look at how easy and clear the transition is. Oh, are you going for an expand? I will go for a spire. Nice. Very typical, easy, clean timing. We don't need the Mutalisks quickly. The quickness of the Mutalisks is not what makes them good. It's the spread-outedness of the Protoss player that makes it good. He has too many places to defend, and per usual, as a Protoss, we are pinned into going for this mixture of Blink, Stalker, Sentry, Immortal. Yes. Good. Great. Now, in this position, I would like to note the following. Leenock and Parting are pretty even in the food count. In that last situation, it was... In the last game, it was a little bit closer, or it was a little bit more skewed into the Leenock direction after Parting lost all his stuff. As we go to the unit station, we see that Leenock does have a hell of a lot of drones, but has a pretty meager army. Parting has a pretty gigantic army, comparatively. But things are looking really good for Parting. He's getting his third up. He's going to begin chrono boosting probes here in a moment, so that way he can just get just a handful more. Not going to go apeshit on the probe chrono boosting. Wants to make sure he has chrono boost on his upgrades and that sort of thing. Just getting this precautionary cannon. And Leenock continues to do brilliance upon brilliance. Brilliance. Where is the baneling nest? Boom. Yep. Baneling nest weirdly always being planted nearby our spire. Getting the 4th base up. And now, what I want to do is I'm going to X4 and X8 it. Shablooey. There we are, speeding right along. Is the sound too loud? God, I have just been hallucinating. I'm having these audio hallucinations. My oral, that is this word, a little bit off. Okay, so let's just look at the basic harassment at an X4 position. In particular, I want you to obviously be looking at the main screen where we're seeing this sort of goody-goodness happen, but also look at the mini-map where we're seeing kind of a conquering of the right side of the map. In the parting can, he is pinned really hard onto the left side of the screen. We're killing off a lot of workers over time. Not many at first, but they slowly begin ramping up. We're losing a good amount of mutalisks, but my goodness, is that guy pinned all the way back. We have these Zerglings conspicuously placed, eager and ready to become banelings of strength and might and explosions and all that good shit. There's some more banelings rolling up. I feel like there was another pack of banelings. I guess not. But still, Leenock doing some really good harassment. We're seeing parting pinned back. Speeding it up. I'm speeding it up. Okay, we're getting the pathogen glands. We are getting totally stormed in hell. Oh my god. There's the hive. So we're doing a couple of these sorts of little interactions. Getting some nice lands on our banelings. In that unit count, we see, oh, here is really nice money move by Leenock. Gets us a really big win. He's killed off 16 workers. Has killed off essentially all the sentries. There are a pair of sentries left. Very aggressive harassment. 5th base coming up for Leenock. Units continuing to rally. As far as anyone can tell, Harding is slowly being boa constricted to death. He's about to run out of minerals in his main base, despite having just invested cannons to defend it. He is not looking very wealthy in his 2nd base. His 3rd is doing just fine. But if we're committing to this mutilinging, I would not be... I wouldn't disagree with myself too hard when I'd say that if we just aggressive mid-game it up with Muta, Ling, Baneling, Roach, it's going to be very hard for Parting to get up a 4th. Also notice Corruptors coming up. We pick up with... Oh my god, that was so horrible! That was horrible! We should make sure that if we commit to killing a Nexus, that we kill it off. This is almost like being on that date with that girl and she's here. She's apparently a hand. No, let's make it into a fist, so that way it's like the lips and you're like leaning in, you're turning, yeah. Baby. You can like feel the heat of her breath on your braces because you're a nerd in this story and you're getting close, and then you get in there and you're like, GSL's on tonight, I'm gonna go now, and you run away. That's exactly what it was like. He sprinted, and as he's running, he's like, Leenock fighting! And she's sitting there like, she's there and she's like, why am I a duck? So terrible. So terrible. So that was awful. But I still want to note, nothing has changed dramatically about our position from Parting's point of view. We didn't end up losing our 3rd, so phew. But we still have a Zerg player barreling down on us. We are broke on gas. We really want to have more Templar, more Stalkers, but we can't. Guess we'll have to make pretty much as else. We're feeling pretty screwed. What was the dramatic change that happened while all this was going on? Corruptors are being produced. We have 5 Corruptors out. There's 7 more en route. We don't have any Infestors out right now. But this immediately transitions us into the most passive of passive nerds. So the snatching up of this expansion is as expected. But as a Protoss, I mean, I don't even have good force fields left because all my sentries are down. I don't want to spend a ton of gas rebuilding the sentries. I just would have liked to have kept those up. Ling Muta Roach is going to overrun this pretty easily, especially if we skew towards a lot of Lings. But we have embraced passivity. So suddenly, Parting Can take this base, he can build cannons, that's really what he wanted to save his gas for. 10 broodlords on the way, looking very doomful for Parting. But suddenly, looks like Parting's able to be on the offensive a little bit. Where did that warp prism go? Wait, we have our broodlords out, but we can't both attack and defend at the same time. Parting instantly double expands, and within a matter of like 2 minutes, Parting has leapt forward, grabbed 2 more bases, and is looking to be in good shape. This is the issue with getting broodlords. They're just so damn slow. So we go to push, and oh shit, he counterattacked down here, and he's counterattacking down here. Oh, well, our banelings will hopefully be able to make short work of this, but it still pulled our whole army back, giving Protoss a chance to run on 5 bases really nicely. In a total flash moment, we're pissed that we almost teched the broodlords. We're like pretty upset. I mean, they're really good in these direct battles, but we just can't get into a position to attack because Parting keeps doing this. Leenock's still looking, you know, okay. He's still able to put this pressure on, but we have more of these guys moving down to the back. I mean, theoretically, we could have planted down a lot of spines, but we're devoting even more resources to being passive, right? We added on a good amount of slowness and immobility with the broodlords. Are we really going to go from mutiling, roach, baneling, this hyper-fast, hyper-aggressive force, to a slow, stationary force of, boom, I'm building a ton of spines here, and infestors, and then slow pushing? Might be reasonable. I mean, basically, Stefano rushes for that sort of passive play. And Leenock needs now only kill off this top expansion. I do think that if he killed off that top expansion, he would have won the game. Right then and there. But instead, killing off the third. Killing off the third. Templar are really good. I mean, you can see that it's not like Leenock lost the game immediately by going broodlord, but he certainly encountered some problems. God, I wish he went up and hooked and killed that. This is not a useful thing to be going for. Because now our opponent has a mothership. Aw, yeah. So I'll just show you the end of this because it's a sweet ending. Parting with counterattack. This, I think, is one of the most epically bad decisions that could be made at this point, to simply not scout this top left expansion and to go for the main. I mean, it's almost better to check. I mean, if you're here and you haven't scouted, it's almost better to just not kill this main and to go scout up here. Oh, but then you know. And Leenock left himself with 50 bucks. Not the most optimal in the base trade situation. Uh-oh. Leenock being revealed. Leenock with the realization. Oh no, does he have more bases? He does. He even has a dark shrine, and I don't have a lair. Oh. But I have infestors, so I don't really give a damn. Big force moving up. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna come out on top? Infestors falling rapidly. And then they all get sucked into the vortex. It's a hell of a way to end a game. Hell of a way to end a game. That is a way of a hell of a way to win the game. So, what we saw happen, basically, is that Parting was like, defend, 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 defend. Oh my god, wait, you're not going mutiling anymore? You're going broodlord? Alright, attack, expand, expand, counterattack, attack. And Leenock was like, ah, just like floating everywhere with his stupid manta ray broodlords. And it's at this moment right here when, you know, let's see, when did the money moment happen? Yeah, 22 minutes. As our hive is coming up, actually it was at 20 minutes. Right here when our hive pops up, we're still doing just so much damage, even though Ultralisks are not the greatest unit to have. you know, I think many people would prefer an army maxed on Broodlord Infestor and having lots of spines as opposed to the Ultralisks. But I think with these aggressive plays that get you a lot of bases up, since we have such a big base and gas lead, and because we've been devoting upgrades to these Zerglings, just throwing down Ultralisks. Ultralisks are going to be really good against the majority Stalker force with a couple of Immortals, like Ultraling. Sure, he can go Archon, sure, he can have some Colossus up, but it's 5 base versus 3 base, and his force fields can't really hop into the picture in the way they could before. Right here, if we start building Ultralisks, I mean, the Greater Spire takes 100 seconds to build. If you look at the Ultralisk tech, you'll see that it takes 65 seconds to build. The Ultralisks themselves are kind of a pain in the ass. They do take kind of long. They take another minute. But Broodlords still take a lot longer. And if he's going for these stationary expansions, then yeah, I mean, it was just this moment right here at Leenock I felt like was in total control. I ended up losing it. This is why I'm just sort of playing with the idea of transitioning to Ultralisks if we're going Mutiling at the start, as opposed to doing Broodlords. If we're starting out straight passive the way Stefano does, like just spine infestering in 11 minutes, we should probably go Infestor at Broodlord. But, questions. Questions. Let us take them. Let's go to the Marchiocho. Question grabber grabs the questions for me. Let's see. I'm trying to think. People are asking all sorts of questions that have nothing to do with the game. Day 9, what is your favorite kind of animal? A starfish. I love the starfish. Let's go ahead and refresh. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah, here's a question from Timo2. I'm going to adjust a little bit, but it's basically, can you show a game with a carrier transition for toss? Obviously, the show's ended, so that would be... I obviously can't. But, I will note that this is becoming the more typical transition for Protosses against a Broodlord Infestor player. That, you know, you're going to start off with your sort of aggressive mid-game mixture of the Sentry, Stalker, Colossus, and you're going to be able to get bases 4 and probably 5 up in that period of time. Obviously sort of running around with the Stalker, Colossus force, trying to pick things off. But if you're hitting a point where it's getting fairly passive, like you're playing on a map like Daybreak, where it's hard to get the Broodlord Infestor all the way over to your base without being vulnerable, that's the period of time where players will add on 3 or so Stargates, start getting +1 attack, and then just start slowly adding in carriers. Slowly adding in carriers. And then it ends up being really, really brutal. That's basically that. That's what I have to say. Plop asks, Day 9, as a Protoss, wouldn't making Colossi force the opponent to go for Corruptors faster? I mean, generally only if he's going for a Roach mixture, like a Roach-based mixture. If he's going Mutiling, he's going to see the Colossi and be like, ching, that's something that can't shoot up, and is going to continue to harass really, really aggressively. So this is one of the reasons I almost like the Mutiling Infestor a little bit better than the Roachling. I just like how it really sort of forces the Protoss to react a little bit more strongly. My focus is waning. That's staying up till the wee hours of the morning. Definitely caused me to run out of juice at this hour. What is your favorite constellation? Orion. Let's take one last question. One last question. Oh, Vilevator asked us, Day 9, in the last game, why is it right for Leenock to stop the attack in the main and go scout for other bases during the base trade? Let's see here. At this moment, right... Oops, I rewound the wrong way. This is the moment that Vilevator is asking about. Why is this... Why should we be abandoning ship here? For one, I actually think that we probably should have abandoned... Oops, around here. Yeah. Once we kill off this third, I genuinely think that the only correct play is moving up here. I think that this is mined out. If we kill this off, we don't really get any gain in the overall game state. Sure, we will kill buildings, which might help us satisfy the win condition of eliminate your opponent's bases. But, I mean, we have, let's see here. Do we have any income? Yeah, I mean, taking a drone, expanding up to... I actually think this might not be a bad place to expand to. Expanding here or expanding here. Killing this off, and then just defending the expansion. I mean, all you really have to do late game with broodlords is control base count. If I just eliminate most of his bases, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna win. There's no way he can really assault me directly if I have this money mixture parked calmly and I have these infestor roaches spread out. Sure, he might get a vortex that might nab half the broodlords, but he doesn't have any more bases, and he has to do that win right there. And that's something that it's so easy to just fall out of the head, because when you get broodlord infestor, it's so easy to just like gun it and win. But your goal in StarCraft is always, always, always to be trying to keep him low on expansions and be trying to take expansions yourself. That ends Europe Week. See you on Sunday at 10 a.m. for Subscriber Mana Battles, the EU edition. Monday, Fun Day Monday. Send me to Monday at day9.tv. A game of you cannon rushing, cannon pushing, cannon harassing, cannon dropping all game long, and it'll be awesome. And I'm gone.